As explained in previous videos, the Exchange Online Protection solution consists of four main components: inbound anti-spam, outbound anti-spam, connection filter, and anti-malware. Outbound anti-spam. Unlike many third-party vendors, Microsoft applies product limitation on email sending. A common limitation we face in daily operation is the 10,000 recipient per day cap. For example, if you send 3,000 email at 9 a.m., the system will count these against your daily quota. You will still be able to send an additional 7,000 email on the same day. However, once the quota is reached, you must wait until 9 a.m. the next day for the restriction to reset. At that point, you can send another 3,000 email and the cycle continues. When planning or implementing solutions, it is crucial to take this limitation into account. If the requirements exceed the daily quota, organizations may need to integrate a third-party relay service to handle the additional email volume. Connection filter. The connection filter allows you to configure the IP allow or block list. However, it is important to note that adding IP address to the allow list can reduce your Microsoft security score, as Microsoft does not recommend in keeping IP address permanently whitelisted in Zero Trust deployment module. In Exchange hybrid environment, to ensure trust with Exchange IP addresses, we update the enhanced filter connectors option. Anti-spam. Microsoft anti-spam framework uses standardized scoring system and automated remediation mechanism to detect and handle unwanted or malicious email. Spam confidence level. An SCL spam confidence level score is assigned to each message based on content analysis, sender behavior, and other security indicator. Messages with an SCL score of 5 to 6 are classified as spam, while messages with an SCL score of 7 to 9 are considered high confidence spam, meaning they are highly likely to be harmful or unwanted. Administrator can create custom policies to define appropriate action based on this score, such as quarantine, move messages to the junk folder, or deleting it, depending on the security requirement and optional needs of the organization. The bulk compliant level BCL is used to classify bulk or gray email messages such as newsletter or marketing emails. In alignment with Zero Trust model, Microsoft recommends settings the BCL to level 5 to apply a stricter filter configuration. However, organizations can adjust this threshold according to their business needs and end user expectations. Phishing detection. The phishing detection system classifies the messages as phishing or high confidence phishing using machine learning and threat intelligence techniques. These detection triggers strong actions such as quarantine or blocking the message to prevent credential theft and impersonation attacks. ZAP. Zero-hour Auto Purge. Zero-hour Auto Purge is a post-delivery protection mechanism. Its purpose is to automatically remove malicious email, whether read or unread, that have already been delivered to the mailbox. ZAP limitation, it only applies within 48-hour window after the message is delivered. Exchange Online Protection EOP Anti-Malware is a built-in security feature within Microsoft 365 Exchange Online that helps protect organizations from malicious software distributed through email. Anti-malware policies also contain a common attachment filter. Messages that contain the specified file types are automatically identified as a malware. The first topic, we will cover the anti-spam policy. To access it, go to Microsoft 365 Security Portal at security.microsoft.com. Then navigate to Email and Collaboration, select Policies and Rules, and from there open the Anti-Spam Policies section. This is where you can view, configure, and manage the policies that help you control unwanted and suspicious email in your organization. Next, we open the Inbound Anti-Spam Policy. Under the bulk threshold and spam property settings, we can adjust how aggressively the system filters bulk or promotional emails. We recommend setting the bulk email threshold to level 5 as part of the Zero Trust deployment approach. However, it is important to note that these settings may have some drawbacks, such as causing a certain newsletter or mailing list communication to be marked as spam or moved to quarantine. Next, we have the filtering of the URL that is pointing to .biz or info domains. It is important to consider blocking or flagging these URL because these domain types are very inexpensive to register, and therefore they are commonly used for mass marketing emails, newsletter, promotional campaigns, and even fake or malicious website. While not all .biz or .info sites are harmful, they are higher likelihood of being associated with spam or phishing. So applying stricter filtering on these domains help reduce unwanted or potential unsafe messages. People often block or flag numeric IP address in URL because legitimate websites normally use domain names, not raw IP address. When a URL appears as an IP address, for example, let's assume we are saying HTTP specific IP/login, it is commonly associated with phishing, malware hosting, or command and control server, where attackers try to bypass domain reputation check since IP-based URLs are frequently used in malicious or suspicious email links. URL redirects to other ports occur when a link directs the user to a website that operates on non-standard port rather than the typical web ports such as port 80, HTTP or 443 for HTTPS. Attackers often use alternative ports to bypass security control, web filtering, or reputation checks because many security tools primarily inspect standard web traffic. For sensitive words, refer to the specific term or phrases that may indicate fraud, phishing, financial scams, inappropriate content, or social engineering attempts within an email body. Examples include urgent requests like verify your account, reset your password, bank transfer, or phrases associated with harassment or confidential data disclosure. By detecting and analyzing these sensitive words, the email security system can increase the message spam score, flag it for review, or automatically route it to junk or quarantine. An SPF record with hard fail means that the domain DNS explicitly states which mail server are allowed to send mail on behalf of that domain, and that any server not listed should be rejected. Conditional sender ID filtering hard fail means that the mail system check whether the sender domain is authorized to send email from the IP address used. If the domain sender ID or SPF record indicate a hard fail, it means the sender server is not permitted to send mail for that domain. As an example, let's take the following SPF. So for example, someone is using SPF record contain include outlook.com minus all. This means only mail sent from Outlook server is allowed. All other server equal hard fail rejected. Now imagine someone is trying to send an email, for example, sent from a random server in another country. This one will be detected and rejected. The drawback of using SPF and sender ID hard fail is that if your SPF record is not kept up to date, legitimate email may be incorrectly rejected. Backscatter refers to unwanted bounce back or non-delivery report, NDR, that are sent to the innocent sender whose email address were spoofed by spammers. In a backscatter situation, an attacker sends a spam or phishing email using forged from address, and when those messages are rejected by receiving mail server, the bounce message are sent back to the real owner of the forged address, even though they have never actually sent the email. When configuring inbound anti-spam policy, it is recommended not to add entire domain to the allowed domain list, allowing domain bypassing all spam and security check for any email coming from that domain, which can create a security vulnerability if that domain is ever compromised. In addition, adding allowed domain negatively impact your Microsoft Security Score, since it weakens your protection control. Next, we will discuss the connection filter. This section allows us to configure IP allow and IP block list. It is important to avoid adding IP address to the allow list because doing so bypass all security and spam filtering for any email coming from that IP. If that IP address is later compromised or being sending a malicious traffic, the system will still accept those messages without inspection, which create a major security risk. Additionally, allowing IP can negatively affect your Microsoft Security Score. Instead, it is recommended to use the block list for non-malicious IP and rely on SPF, DKIM, DMARC, and Zero Trust Control to validate legitimate senders. For the outbound anti-spam policy, this is where we control the sending limits and define action for users who exceed those limits. If a user flagged as a restricted sender due to mass sending behavior or potential account compromise, we can choose either to block the user from sending any further emails immediately or allow them to resume sending for the next day, which help prevent the spread of spam or malicious email across the organization. In this section, we can also manage the automatic forwarding rules by either enabling or disabling the ability to automatically forward email, which is a key protection against data leakage. Finally, the notification setting allow administrators to receive alert whether outbound spam policies are triggered, so they can quickly investigate and respond to potential security incidents. For the anti-malware configuration, we need to go to Threat Policies section and open the anti-malware protection settings. From here, enable the Common Attachment Type filter to block file types that Microsoft has identified as high risk and commonly used to deliver malware. These attachment types are predefined by Microsoft, so no manual configuration is required unless you want to add a customization and add extra file types to be blocked. Additionally, ensure that ZAP 0-hour Auto Purge is enabled, as ZAP automatically removes malicious email from user inboxes even after they have been delivered, providing a continuous protection against newly discovered threats.